Stop carrying what doesn't serve you. You don't need to announce it or justify it. Just let it go. Most people live trapped in fears, in guilt, in relationships that drain the soul, and they wonder why peace never comes. The answer is simple. There is no room for peace while you insist on holding on to what is breaking you. Stoicism teaches that what you can't control shouldn't rule your life. However, we keep trying to control the opinion of others, the past that doesn't return, the mistakes we don't accept. It's like trying to row with a rock tied to your neck. No matter how much effort you put in, you sink anyway. Letting go in silence is not weakness, it's discipline. It's the act of facing what steals your energy and cutting it off without drama, without giving explanations to those who will never carry that weight for you. True freedom begins when you decide to stop dragging burdens that don't deserve your attention. Today, you will learn to get rid of all that. Fears, habits, expectations, and comparisons. There will be no sweet speeches or false promises, just raw truth. What you're going to hear is not to make you comfortable. It's to push you to live with more space, more peace, and more strength for what really matters. Want to break the fear of what others will say? The fear of what others will say is an invisible prison that crushes the will of many. It doesn't have iron bars, but it locks up more than any cell. It's that voice that gets into your mind before making a decision, the one that asks you, what will they think of me if I do this? That fear robs you of strength. It makes you smaller than you are, because instead of living your life, you end up living for the gaze of others. And the worst part is that there isn't even a specific they. They are just shadows, invented opinions that have not even been spoken. Stoicism is forceful in the face of this. What is out of your control does not deserve your energy. You don't control others' opinions. You can't stop someone from judging or criticizing you, and trying to please everyone is a battle that is lost before it begins. While you try to please the world, you lose yourself. People talk, they always have, they always will. Today they applaud you, tomorrow they point at you. If you base your worth on what others think, you will live on an emotional roller coaster that never stops. Breaking this fear begins with an act of silent rebellion. Stop asking for permission to be you. You don't have to announce that you no longer care what they say. Just stop acting as if their approval were necessary. Most of those who criticize don't even have their own lives in order. Stop giving them a front row seat in your existence. A Stoic practice to release that fear is to remember the brevity of life. Ask yourself, how much will this matter in a year, in 5, in 10? What today seems unbearable judgment, tomorrow will be dust in the wind. Marcus Aurelius said that we live as if we were immortal, when in reality time is the only thing we can't recover. Spending it worrying about what someone murmurs is a slow way to waste your destiny. Breaking the fear of what others will say does not mean becoming arrogant or inconsiderate. It means reclaiming the right to live under your own principles. It means silencing the outside noise to listen to your own voice. It means acting with consistency, even if it makes others uncomfortable, because you prefer to be respected for your authenticity than accepted for your false docility. Do an exercise. Every time you feel the urge to keep quiet, to change your stance, or not to make a decision for fear of being judged, take a deep breath and take the step anyway. Learn to tolerate the discomfort of not pleasing everyone, because that discomfort is the price of your freedom. Breaking this fear is more than advice. It's the first hammer blow against the chains that bind you. No one is going to live your life for you. If you want peace and inner clarity, stop handing over the helm of your existence to the opinion of others. Today is the time to tear off that mask and stop performing for an audience that was never really watching. 2. Close the door to what drains you. There are people, places, and habits that not only steal your time, they rip away your energy, will, and even good judgment. You know it, because every time you come into contact with them, you end up exhausted, confused, or with the feeling that you're carrying a burden that doesn't belong to you. What drains you doesn't always make noise. Sometimes it's that conversation full of complaints, that relationship that doesn't progress, but you don't let go of. That habit of opening social networks as soon as you wake up and letting other people's negativity invade your day. And while you allow these leaks to exist, no matter how much discipline you try to have, there will never be enough energy for what really matters. Stoicism teaches that your mind is like a fortress, and you should guard its gates. You can't prevent the wind from hitting the walls, but you can decide what you let in. Every time you give space to what drains you, you hand over control of your inner self to external forces. Epictetus put it clearly, no one can harm you without your consent. If you allow what exhausts your spirit to stay, it's because, in some way, you opened the door and invited it in. Closing the door is not just about distancing yourself from toxic people, although many times it will be necessary. It's also about cutting habits that seem harmless, but wear you down little by little. The excess of news that only feeds anxiety, the internal dialogue where you repeat old arguments, the promises you make knowing you won't keep them. Each of these is a hole in the ship of your mental peace. Don't wait for the water to reach your neck to plug them. Practicing this in daily life requires firmness, not pretty words. Start by identifying what leaves you empty. Ask yourself, does this relationship, this habit, this routine give me strength or take it away? If the answer is that it subtracts, then the next step is obvious. Close the door, without speeches, without feeling guilty. You don't have to explain why you don't answer messages that only bring drama, nor justify why you stopped being available for those who only show up when they need something. Cutting off these drains is an act of respect towards yourself. If your energy is limited, wasting it is a form of self-abandonment. No one can build serenity on foundations that are bleeding out. And don't confuse closing doors with being cruel. The real cruelty is allowing others to feed off your peace while pretending everything is fine. Every door you close will free up space for something that does nourish your life. Healthy relationships, projects that inspire you, moments of silence that strengthen character. If you don't close what drains you, there will never be room for what lifts you up. Today is the time to take control of who and what enters your mind. The strength you seek begins by guarding its gates with the same determination with which a soldier defends his home. 3. Uproot the habits that weaken you. Habits that destroy rarely come as a blow. They usually infiltrate like water seeping through cracks. They start with small concessions. Just for today. It's okay this time. Tomorrow I get serious. And without realizing it, what seemed harmless becomes an anchor that sinks every attempt to move forward. I'm not just talking about obvious vices, also about those invisible routines that dim your mind. Procrastinating what's important, going to bed late for no reason, speaking ill of yourself, giving in to the whims of the moment. They are customs that don't break you immediately, but they gradually empty you of character. Stoicism teaches that man is formed through his repeated actions. There is no virtue that survives amidst habits that contradict it. You can have great goals, but if your day-to-day is filled with small indulgences that weaken you, you will be sabotaging yourself in silence. Seneca warned that we are not dragged down by a single great mistake, but by a multitude of small faults that accumulated ruin our spirit and judgment. To remove them, it's not enough to wish it. You have to uproot them without negotiations. A bad habit left half alive finds a way to sprout again. Start by recognizing them with brutal honesty. Ask yourself, what do I do daily that steals strength instead of giving me power? Maybe it's laziness disguised as rest, gossip that feeds resentment, the complaint you repeat every morning. Naming them is already exposing them to the light, and what is exposed loses power. The second step is to replace them, not just eliminate them. If you leave a void, the old pattern will return. Stoicism proposes habits that strengthen, getting up early, organizing your environment, practicing daily reflection, enduring the impulse without giving in to it. They are not complicated rituals, but they require discipline. The the same discipline that is formed by enduring minor discomforts to build a greater life. Cutting the habits that weaken you hurts because it involves giving up immediate gratification, that small spark that gives you pleasure in the moment but steals your energy in the long run. It's the price of stepping out of the ordinary. Accept that you will feel resistance. It's the sign that you are uprooting something that took root in your routine. Remember that every time you break a weak habit, you strengthen the will. And the will is the muscle that supports everything else. Goals, discipline, serenity. Don't fool yourself into thinking that you can keep a couple of small, harmful indulgences without affecting much. Each one is an open door to regression. Today it's your turn to face yourself and cut what you already know is holding you back. Nobody will do it for you. There is no inner peace if you live surrounded by chosen chains. Uproot them even if it hurts, because from that pain, the character you were looking for is born. 4. Let go of the control you never had. One of the greatest illusions that keeps us in constant tension is believing that we can control everything, the reactions of others, the course of each plan, even the unexpected twists of life. It's a comfortable mirage at first, but it ends up becoming a trap that consumes you. Whoever tries to have everything under control ends up worn out, anxious and frustrated because the world does not accommodate to their script. Stoicism strikes directly at that illusion. You only have dominion over your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. Everything else, the opinion of others, the changes of fate, the weather, the loyalty of others, is out of your reach. Even so, many insist on retaining what is impossible to retain, as if squeezing harder would prevent water from slipping through their fingers. That effort is not only useless, it is destructive. It drains your energy and feeds an anxiety that is never satisfied. Letting go of control does not mean giving up or falling into passivity. It means directing your strength towards the only thing that depends on you, your character and your decisions. It's about stopping fighting with reality and learning to move with it. The river does not stop flowing because you want to stop it, but you can learn to row in its favor. That is the essence of inner power, accepting the flow without losing direction. Practicing it requires courage because it implies recognizing how small you are in the face of the immensity of what happens outside your will. It requires humility to admit that not everything can be predicted or forced. Marcus Aurelius wrote that serenity comes when we stop wishing that the universe follows our whim, and instead we decide to follow the course of nature. To apply it in everyday life, start by observing how much energy you spend trying to change the immutable. Do you argue over and over again with someone who never listens? Do you stay awake planning scenarios that may never happen? Are you tormented by the past as if you could rewrite it? Every moment invested in that is time lost to act on what you can transform. Your response, your attitude, your preparation to adapt. Letting go of the control you don't have is not weakness, it's strategy. It's about closing energy leaks to strengthen your center. It's deciding that your peace is not negotiable in the face of external storms. You can't stop the rain, but you can strengthen the roof of your house. You can't control someone's betrayal, but you can decide not to turn it into poison for you. When you let go of the obsession to control the uncontrollable, you regain mental space for what really matters. Life becomes lighter, not because problems disappear, but because you stop carrying those that are not yours. That lightness is the beginning of true freedom, living focused on the essential without dragging the chains of impossible illusions. 5. Free yourself from the weight of perfection. Perfection is one of the most subtle and cruel traps that exist. It disguises itself as ambition and high standards, but in reality, it is a silent executioner that strangles every attempt to move forward. Whoever pursues to be perfect is never satisfied, because they always find a new flaw, a pending improvement, an unforgivable mistake. You live believing that you cannot fail, that every step must be flawless, and that demand ends up paralyzing you. Stoicism teaches that virtue lies in constant progress, not in the illusion of flawlessness. The Stoics knew that nature itself is not perfect. The sea churns, the seasons change, the body ages. To pretend to be flawless is to fight against the order of the universe. Seneca said that no one is more wrong than the one who believes they never make mistakes. And he was right. The desire for perfection is not only unreal, but it makes you a prisoner of your own fear of error. Freeing yourself from that weight means accepting your humanity with its limits. Not to settle for mediocrity, but to move forward without the constant fear of stumbling. Each mistake is a teacher, not a sentence. The Stoics practiced daily review of their actions, not to punish themselves for failures, but to learn and correct the course the next day. That is true discipline, the one that grows with each fall, instead of being ashamed of having fallen. In everyday life, the pursuit of perfection manifests itself in small things. The fear of starting a project because it's not the ideal time. Procrastination disguised as eternal planning. Anxiety about how others see you. It is an enemy that hides behind reasonable excuses, but its real goal is to keep you immobile. Start breaking this burden by allowing yourself to act even if you don't feel ready. Take that first step even if it's clumsy. Speak even if your voice trembles. Deliver the work even when it's not flawless but honest. Each imperfect action is worth more than 1,000 perfect plans that are never executed. Another useful Stoic practice is to distinguish between what depends on you and what does not. You can control your effort, your dedication, your preparation, but you cannot control that everything goes perfectly or how others will react. Focusing on your part and letting go of the rest is an act of mental freedom. Remember that no one admires the one who pretends to be flawless. We admire the one who remains standing after falling and who, with each stumble, becomes stronger. Perfection kills authenticity, and authenticity is what connects, inspires, and sustains. Today, you have to let go of that burden. You were not born to be flawless. You were born to grow. Stop dragging the weight of an impossible ideal and use that energy to move forward, make mistakes, learn, and keep walking. That conscious imperfection is, in reality, your greatest strength. 6. Choose peace over reason. There are battles that are not won even if you have the best arguments. You can have the truth on your side and still end up hurt, exhausted, empty. This happens because most people do not argue to understand, but to impose themselves. Insisting on convincing someone who does not want to listen is like throwing water at fire with open hands. Only you end up burned. Choosing peace over reason is not surrendering or becoming indifferent. It is refusing to continue feeding conflicts that lead nowhere. Stoicism teaches that true strength is not in winning all disputes, but in mastering oneself in the face of provocation. Epictetus said that it is not the facts that alter us, but the opinion we have of them. Many times we believe that our calm depends on others agreeing with us, but that is handing over control of our emotions to others. Peace is sustained from within, not from external validation. In everyday life, this means learning to recognize when it is worth speaking and when silence is more powerful. You do not need to correct every unfair comment or clarify every misunderstanding. There are words that dissolve on their own if you do not echo them. Maturity consists of discerning between conflicts that strengthen and those that only wear down. The first step to achieve this is to train the pause. When someone provokes you or a disagreement arises, do not react immediately. Breathe, observe your impulse to respond, and ask yourself, is this going to add peace or just prolong the chaos? Most of the time, you will find that the price of having the last word is too high for what is gained. Choosing peace also does not mean enduring abuses or injustices. It involves knowing how to set boundaries without needing to explode in anger or seek revenge. It is being able to say up to here firmly, without shouting, without showing weakness. Self-control is more intimidating than any emotional outburst. Whoever manages to remain calm while setting boundaries demonstrates an authority that does not need to impose itself with noise. Practicing this is not easy. because our ego seeks to be right to feel strong. But the ego is fragile. It inflates with approval and breaks with criticism. Inner peace, on the other hand, is solid because it does not depend on external factors. Every time you choose serenity over the impulse to argue, you strengthen that inner core that no one can touch. From today, before entering a dispute, remember that not everything deserves a response, and that many verbal victories leave invisible scars. Life is not measured by how many times you were right, but by how many times you kept calm when chaos tried to drag you. Choose your peace as you would choose your refuge. Protect it from everything that only seeks to destroy it. 7. Silence the noise that invades your mind. We live amidst a constant noise that we rarely notice, notifications ringing non-stop, opinions sneaking in uninvited, thoughts repeating like an endless echo. It's a murmur that leaves no room to listen to yourself. This noise not only distracts, it also wears you down. It steals your clarity, prevents you from concentrating, and drags you into anxiety. If you don't learn to silence it, your mind becomes a messy market where anyone can shout louder than your own voice. Stoicism teaches that those who do not master their mind are slaves to external chaos. For the Stoics, peace was not a luxury but a discipline, the ability to direct attention to the essential and reject the superfluous. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminded himself every day that he should not allow the voices of others to invade his judgment. He understood that the real noise did not come from the world, but from the internal disorder that we give space to. Silencing the noise does not mean running away from the world, but learning to set boundaries. Start with the external noise, social networks, news that only generates fear, conversations that contribute nothing. Ask yourself how many of the words you consume each day truly nourish your mind. Most are just distractions that fill your head with other people's problems. The first practical decision is to reduce exposure. Less time in front of screens, fewer useless arguments, less access to people who only bring drama. The most difficult noise to silence is the internal one. That constant dialogue where you review past mistakes, anticipate future tragedies, and criticize every step you take. For this type of noise, the Stoics recommended silent reflection and brief meditation. You don't need complex rituals. Just sit alone, observe your thoughts without following them, let them pass like clouds in the sky. The more you practice, the more you will learn to distinguish between what you think and what you are. A quiet mind becomes fertile ground for calm and clarity. You discover that many of your worries were just other people's voices disguised as truths. You discover that most of the conflicts that rob you of sleep do not exist outside of your head. Silence gives you back the power to choose what you give space to and what you don't. Start today with small steps. Dedicate the first minutes of the day without looking at your phone. Walk without headphones to listen to the environment. Reserve a few minutes before bed to organize your thoughts instead of endlessly scrolling through the screen. These pauses are anchors that keep you steady amidst the noise of the world. Silencing the mind is not isolating, it's regaining control of your attention. In that silence is born the strength to act calmly, think clearly, and make decisions without the clamor from outside or inside determining your course. A quiet mind is a free mind. 8. Disarm the thoughts that sabotage you. Most of the hardest battles do not occur outside, but within the mind. You don't need visible enemies to sabotage your own life. An internal voice that keeps telling you that you're not enough, that you're going to fail, that there's no point in trying is enough. These thoughts are like invisible blades. They don't hurt the body, but they tear the will. As long as you don't disarm them, they will continue to dictate decisions, extinguish motivations, and keep you small. Stoicism teaches that it's not things that harm us, but the judgment we make about them. The mind tends to exaggerate dangers and invent stories that will never happen. If you don't learn to question these internal narratives, you'll end up living under rules imposed by ghosts. Epictetus insisted that freedom begins when you stop believing everything you think and decide to examine it before reacting. Disarming the thoughts that sabotage you doesn't mean repressing them or pretending they don't exist. It means confronting them with clarity and logic. Every time your mind tells you you can't, ask yourself, what is this idea based on? Are there real proofs or just fear? Many times you'll discover that it's a reflection of past experiences or other people's words that got stuck in your memory. They are not truths. They are remnants of old wounds that learn to speak. An effective Stoic practice is to write down what you think when you feel that your mind is conspiring against you. Putting it on paper makes it external, and the external can be analyzed. You'll see that most of these phrases lose strength when you look at them in the light. When you read them, you'll notice how unreasonable they are, how much they exaggerate, and how they repeat with the same script. You should also learn to replace what you remove. It's not enough to dismantle a negative idea. You must sow a new conviction that supports your progress. For example, change. I can't handle this too. It's not easy, but I can try step by step. It's not about empty self-help phrases, but affirmations that recognize difficulty without surrendering to it. The mind needs a new path to stop returning to the old one. Remember that mental discipline is trained just like a muscle. Every time you disarm a toxic thought, you strengthen your ability to stay calm and act with clarity. At first it will be hard because the brain prefers known routes, even if they are harmful, but with practice you'll discover that you have more control than you imagined. From today, don't believe everything you hear inside you. Question it, examine it, and if it's not useful, disarm it piece by piece. The most dangerous enemy is not the one who attacks you from outside, but the one who settles in your mind and convinces you to give up before you start. Disarming that voice is reclaiming the power that was always yours. 9. Organize your space. Organize your inner self. External disorder is a reflection of what's happening inside the mind. It's no coincidence that the days when everything seems chaotic inside are also reflected in your environment. The unmade bed, the desk full of papers, the piled up clothes, the objects you no longer use but keep storing. What you accumulate outside becomes silent noise that steals mental clarity, energy, and even mood. Those who live surrounded by disorder carry with them distractions that they don't see, but weigh just as much. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate order not as an aesthetic whim, but as a tool of discipline and serenity. For the Stoics, everything that occupies space in your life should have a purpose. Marcus Aurelius warned that excess and neglect distance us from the essential. If your space is full of the unnecessary, your mind will be too. Keeping the environment clean and simple is a form of respect towards oneself and towards inner clarity. Organizing your space is not limited to cleaning, but to making decisions. What stays, what goes, and what place does what remains occupy. Each unused object is a silent interruption, a reminder of pending tasks or habits that no longer fit with you. By removing them, you not only clear the physical place, but also close emotional cycles that may have been stagnant for years. Start with the basics: your room, your desk, the places where you spend most of your time. Don't do it in a hurry, but with intention. Ask yourself for each thing: does this add value to my life or just occupy space? This practice, although simple, has an immediate effect. You will feel lighter and more focused. The organized space calms the mind, reduces stress, and facilitates clearer decision-making. Order also applies to the digital: accumulated messages, forgotten files, constant notifications. Even if you don't physically see them, they saturate your attention. Dedicate time to clean your phone, email, and social networks. Each click you eliminate is one less weight you carry. Don't underestimate the psychological impact of an organized environment. A clear place acts as a silent reminder that you have control over your life. The discipline you put into the physical space is reflected in your ability to remain calm in the face of adversity. Whoever takes care of their environment takes care of their mind. Today, instead of seeking peace in complicated things, start with what is in front of you, your space. By putting order outside, your inner self begins to align naturally. Disorder is a silent thief of energy. Order, on the other hand, is a constant source of balance and strength. If you want mental clarity, start with the place where you live, because there the real state of your mind is revealed. 10. Stop looking sideways and follow your own path. Few things are as draining as constantly comparing yourself to others. It's like running a marathon while looking at the runners next to you. You lose your rhythm, stumble, and end up exhausted prematurely. Constant comparison steals joy from personal achievements, distorts the sense of progress, and sows an anxiety that is never satisfied. There will always be someone who seems more successful, stronger, happier, and as long as your attention is on them, you neglect the only path you can walk, your own. Stoicism is clear on this point. Do not measure your progress with someone else's yardstick. Epictetus said that freedom begins when you stop depending on what you cannot control, and among those things are the lives of others. Comparing yourself is forgetting that each person fights invisible battles and that the ground they walk on is never the same as yours. What you see is just a facade. No one displays their scars or their nights of doubt in life's shop windows. To stop looking sideways implies a change of focus, from envy and judgment to introspection and discipline. Every minute you spend looking outwards is one less minute building what you want. Energy is limited. Dispersing it on others' progress only delays your own. A Stoic measures himself by how much he advances from where he was yesterday, not by the distance that separates him from others. To practice this, first identify the moments when you fall into comparison, browsing social networks, listening to others' success stories, seeing what they have and you don't. It's not about isolating yourself from the world, but changing your perspective. Instead of asking why they succeeded, ask what you can learn from their journey to improve your own. The difference between admiration and envy lies in whether you use what you see as inspiration or poison. It is also essential to define a clear course. If you don't know where you're going, it's inevitable to get distracted by what others are doing. Set goals aligned with your values, not with the expectations society imposes. Genuine progress is measured in silence. It doesn't need applause or external validation. Knowing what you're looking for protects you from the temptation to abandon your path to follow others' tracks. Remember that many lives that seem perfect are only so in appearance. Judging your chapter 1 against someone else's chapter 20 is unfair to you. Everyone has their own pace, their own trials, and their own time. Comparing yourself is like demanding a young tree to bloom at the same rate as one that has been growing for years. Today, decide to let go of that need to look sideways. Walk your route with discipline and consistency. Be grateful for each step that brings you closer to the person you want to be, and let others follow their own paths. When you understand that the real rival is your version of yesterday, you stop wasting time on races that were never yours. That is the most silent and powerful freedom, to advance without being diverted by others' shadows. Thank you for staying until the end of the video. If you watched the whole thing, comment "I am Stoic" as our secret signal to know that you're a true student of Stoicism. Don't forget to subscribe and give the video a like if you enjoyed it. See you in the next video, and remember, keep cultivating your Stoic mind.